Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we've all wondered it at some point. Could a robot cook a meal that a Michelin star chef would be proud of? Or, heck, even just flip the perfect burger? Today, we're jumping right into one of the biggest questions in both tech and food. Can a machine actually outcook a master?
And listen, this isn't some far-off science fiction fantasy. That's a real quote from someone on a late-night burger run. The future isn't on its way. In a lot of restaurants, it's already here, punching the clock.
That's right. The age of the robo-chef has already begun. So just how powerful are these new kitchen assistants? Let's take a look under the hood.
Okay, get this. At White Castle, there's a robotic arm called Flippy 2, and its only job is the fry station. And this is no gimmick. Flippy can boost French fry production by a staggering 30% compared to its human coworkers. We're talking more fries, cooked perfectly, every single time.
And it's not just shaking up the world of fast food. Over at the salad chain Sweetgreen, their new Infinite Kitchen can put together up to 500 salad bowls in an hour. Just try to picture that. A crazy lunch rush handled almost instantly, with near-perfect accuracy.
So with that kind of speed and power on the table, I think it's time for the main event. Let's put the machine in one corner and the master chef in the other, and really see who comes out on top.
You know, this whole battle really boils down to their core strengths. In one corner, you have the machine, a champion of efficiency, precision, and doing the exact same thing over and over again without fail. And in the other corner, you have the master chef, a genius of improvisation, creativity, and that gut feeling, that intuition. These are two totally different philosophies of cooking.
And if you look at the robot's strengths, they're all a restaurant owner's dream, right? They can work 24/7, no breaks, no sick days. Their incredible precision means less food waste and lower labor costs. And because every single movement is programmed, you get the exact same dish every time, which is basically the holy grail for any chain restaurant. Plus, hey, fewer human hands in the mix can mean a more hygienic kitchen.
But here it is. This is the machine's Achilles heel. A real kitchen is a chaotic, unpredictable place. So what happens when a recipe is a little unclear or an ingredient doesn't look quite right? Well, that's where the human chef really shines.
And it all comes down to this one critical word: ambiguity. For AI researchers, this is a massive hurdle. See, an instruction like pour it into a mug sounds simple to us. But what if there are two mugs on the counter? A robot is basically paralyzed. It can't decide because a wrong guess could completely ruin the dish.
And this really breaks it down perfectly. Robots struggle with three main types of ambiguity. First, you've got preferences, like which mug do I use? The robot just can't read your mind. Then there's common sense, the stuff we just know, like you should probably wash the dirt off your vegetables before you make a salad. And finally, and maybe most importantly, there's safety. A human knows not to put a metal fork in the microwave. For a robot, that's not intuitive, it's a massive blind spot.
Okay, so robots clearly have their limits. But what if a robot could make a technically perfect dish? Well, that brings us to a really fascinating twist in this story, one that has less to do with technology and more to do with our own human brains.
I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Does knowing who, or what, is back there in the kitchen actually change how we perceive the food that ends up on our plate?
Well, the research is in, and it's pretty wild. One study found that people consistently predict that food made by a human chef will be higher quality than the exact same food made by a robot. Now, the robot's food was still rated well, but the human chef always had that extra edge in our minds.
So, why are we biased? Well, it's all psychological. We connect food made by human hands with things like love and care and authenticity. I mean, think about your grandmother's cooking, right? It's not just the ingredients, it's the story, the intention behind it. A robot creates a product, but we believe a human puts a little piece of themselves into the dish. And that's why robot-made food can feel like just an ordinary fabricated product. It's also why 55% of people find the idea of a fully automated kitchen unacceptable. We're not just tasting food, we're tasting the effort.
So, we've got this incredible efficiency of machines on one hand, clashing with our deep-seated preference for the human touch on the other. What in the world does this mean for the future of restaurants and the people who work in them?
Look, there's no sugarcoating it. Jobs that are all about repetitive tasks, like a line cook or a prep cook, are definitely at risk. But as some of those roles get automated,
brand new ones are starting to pop up. We're going to need robot technicians and repair people. And maybe most importantly, we'll need hospitality ambassadors, people whose whole job is just to create that welcoming atmosphere, to provide that essential human connection that we all crave when we go out to eat.
And that really leads to this powerful insight. The goal here isn't to replace humans. It's to free them up from the boring, repetitive, grinding tasks so they can focus on what we humans do best: create, connect, and make people feel welcome.
It all seems to be building towards what people are calling the hybrid model. And it's actually pretty simple. Step 1, let the robots handle the monotonous work: the frying, the chopping, the assembling. Step 2, this frees up the human staff to focus on developing new recipes, talking to guests, and making sure the quality is perfect. The result, you get the best of both worlds: the incredible efficiency of a machine guided by the creativity and warmth of a human.
And that, I think, brings us to the real heart of it all. A robot can be programmed with 1,000,000 recipes, and it can execute every single one with flawless precision. But food is so much more than just a combination of ingredients, right? It's culture, it's connection, it's memory. So the final question is, can a machine ever truly replicate the feeling of a meal that was cooked just for you, with care, by another person? Well, that might be the one recipe that technology can never quite crack.